I know some of y'all are wondering what's going on in Charlotte. I mean, it's basically the same thing that's going on in New York, Minneapolis, ATL, Los Angeles, Chicago, and other cities and states. You know, people are upset that George Floyd was murdered, and they're releasing their frustration out by looting, rioting, and then also there are others that are just peacefully protesting. But there's a pain that everybody that's black is feeling. And like I've said this before, and I'll say it again, even though I don't agree with the protesting, because within having a protest, you have to have a motive, a reason why you're protesting. I understand what the reason is, but the way that you're going about it just doesn't make sense. You're not going to get what you want, which is those four police officers prosecuted. And then, let's just say you do, right? After that, then what? Then what? So we have to get some type of legislation on the board, on the table or whatever, some type of bill passed where it pretty much protects black people. And we have to push for that, especially now that, the elections are coming up and people want to be elected. So we have to have an agenda, and part of that agenda, it should be where our demands is, met, such as police brutality. And the next person that you elect to be president of the United States, or the mayor, or the Senate, or House of Representatives to represent you, that's what you you tell them, hey, listen, you're gonna have to tackle police brutality. You're gonna have to do something about that. You're gonna have to do something about the lack of education that we have in our communities, that our schools are messed up. You're gonna have to do something about that. You're gonna have to do something about jobs. We have to have an agenda, and in that agenda, it should have a long list of things that we demand for this person to do in order for me to elect you. So, yes, even though I don't agree with it, I understand why people are protesting and doing what they're doing. I do. I truly do. So the same things that are happening in all of these cities that you're seeing on the news is happening here in Charlotte. But the funny thing about it is, it's not funny, you know what I'm saying? It's just, saying. But the funny thing about it is that it's not as bad as it was in 2016. Now, I don't know if you all, know about this, but in 2016, a black man was killed. Matter of fact, 2 black men were killed. One of both of them were killed by police officers, CMPD. That stands for Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department, right? So one of the black men that were killed, I'm not gonna lie, I seen the tape, I seen the video cam that the police officer had on his chest, and I would have to say that it was justifiable. I would have to be fair. Here you have a bigger man, like a bigger man, running right at you for no apparent reason, and he booms, like slams you. That man had no other choice but to put him down. That is really when you're in fear of your life. When somebody is running right at you, looking to hurt you. That's what I seen on the video camera. That's what I seen. The next one, the second one, I don't think it was justifiable at all, because it was more than one police officer that shot him. So this guy, they get a call, right? And I don't know what the call was about. And it comes to this guy's house. The guy is walking outside. His wife is telling them, yo, he is on medication. He has problems. Could you please not harm my husband? And the guy, he didn't have a knife, he didn't have a gun or nothing, and out of nowhere, boom, they just shot him and killed him. I seen video footage of that one, and I didn't think it was justifiable at all. I think that the police officers could have done a way more better. They could have made a better decision instead of shooting and killing them. They could have diffused that situation. But instead, they shot that man and killed him. And when that happened, Charlotte went berserk. Uptown, they trashed it. And this is the first time that I've ever seen, first time in history that I've ever seen a bunch of black people come out of their neighborhoods and trash what white people have established. First time ever in my life, they trashed the Ritz-Carlton hotel that's located in Uptown Charlotte. They broke windows in restaurants. I mean, they tore the place apart. Then they didn't stop there. They held up 277 that which circles around Uptown, the traffic. They held up the traffic in Highway 85. They set a truck on fire. I mean, it was just crazy, and was like, wow. And the other part of me was like, oh man, this is getting out of hand. But I can't, this is the thing that I've learned. I can't, and neither can anyone else, dictate how a person expresses themselves when they're fed up. And this is the problem that I have with white America. Because white America will sit back. First of all, white America contradicts itself all the time. They're hypocrites. So, I'm gonna give you two examples. The first example is, white America will tell you will tell you how to protest, right? You need to peacefully protest. You need to walk down the street with signs and speak your piece. That's it. You don't supposed to loot, you don't supposed to riot, you don't supposed to scream and yell and blow things up and light things on fire. You don't supposed to do none of that stuff. Everything's supposed to be peaceful. And it's crazy that white America wants you to be peaceful when a violent act happened in order for you to respond in the way that you responded. You never asked that police officer to be peaceful. Police officers to be peaceful that have shot and killed innocent black men and women and children. But you want us to react peacefully. That doesn't make sense. And the second thing is, I've said this in a video before. The second thing is this. When 9/11 happened, when the World Trade or the Twin Towers fell, right? And killed thousands of Americans. America didn't peacefully protest. White America, that is. You know what white America did? It sent out its army in Iraq, excuse me, looking for one man called Osama bin Laden. And in the process of them looking for one man, they killed thousands of civilians by dropping bombs from unmanned drones flying in the air. So you can't tell me how to protest, because you don't even peacefully protest when something happens to you. You can't dictate how I protest, because I don't dictate how you protest or how you handle your business. Period. And guess what? You know what's so funny? Even if I could dictate to you how to handle your business, how to respond to when 9/11 happened, guess what? You wouldn't even listen. And not only that, I don't even have the power. You do. So Charlotte, this has happened in 2016 and it's happening in 2020. Saturday night, this past Saturday night was one of the worst nights that we had here. You know, a lot of restaurants were vandalized and damaged and stuff. Yesterday, which is Monday and Sunday, you know, the protesters that are out in the afternoon that's protesting, it has been very peaceful. You know, they have protested in Uptown Charlotte, South Park, as well as Freedom Park, and they have walked from Freedom Park all the way through Queens Road, and I don't know how far that they went. You know, so it's gonna be just like how it was in 2016. You know, things are gonna, you know, slowly but surely go back to normal. But I will say one thing about Charlotte that I don't see in a lot of other cities. I see that, and they were doing that, the cops were doing that in 2016. They're trying to, you know, walk in unison and talk and have conversations, the police with the protesters, that is, and have conversations, and I can see some of them being sincere. So I don't see that in the other cities, like in Charlotte. And the race relations here is like totally different. You know, we do have racism, I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, there are a lot of people that are just mad cool with one another. Because here, a lot of the neighborhoods, and a lot of the communities, white people live amongst black people live amongst white people. I have a very diverse community, I live in a very diverse community here, where it's nothing for me to be coming out of my garage, backing up, and a Chinese person is walking his dog, and a white person is running across the street. So that's one thing that I can say that I see that Charlotte has that a lot of the other cities lack. So we'll get through it. You know, the whole thing with the coronavirus and, you know, the protesting, it hasn't stopped. You know, of course, the protesters are not practicing social distancing. So we'll see. We'll see that, you know, we'll see if this conspiracy theory is real. You know, like this really wasn't a big pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Or we'll see if it really is real. Because if it's really real, of course, all of these people are not practicing social distancing, and a lot of them not wearing masks, the protesters that is. That means that in a couple of weeks, we should see a spike in the numbers. I just hope that everyone is safe and that we can get, you know, justice. But there has to be something. We have to put something in law to protect black people. It's just that plain and simple, because really it's just real. Like at this point in time, black lives don't matter. We have to demand a bill to be passed that protects black people, just like how bills are passed to protect the LGBTQ community. Other than that, y'all be safe. My name is Langston2092. I want you to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely share. 1.